It's the 80th Rolex Sydney Hobart Yacht Race, and the spotlight is firmly on the 5 100-feet maxis battling for line honours. Master Lock Comanche returns with her crew, hoping to add to the yacht's 4 previous wins. The 2-time defending champion Law Connect is back once again. Wild Thing 100 and SHK Scallywag 100 both arrived with proven pedigree. Completing the lineup is 9-time winner Wild Oats 11, now refitted and racing as Palm Beach 11, skippered by legend Mark Richards.
One of my memories with Wild Oats 11 has 20 years of memories, right? And a lot of amazing races and a lot of amazing victories and a lot of results. So it's a roller coaster of memories. It really has been. We built the boat under pressure 20 years ago. I think we launched the boat in 2005 and we ended up winning that race. So the memories have been amazing, and the people we've met along the way, the journey, the whole thing has been a wonderful experience, and that's why we're back here again today under the new ownership and the new name, because the memories have been so strong and we want to continue them. Is this about the past? It's not about the past at all. The modifications are extremely extensive. It's all about the future, technology, evolution, performance. That's what we're all about. That's what the company's all about. That's what I'm all about. That's what the team's all about, right? So it's really exciting. A bit more time would have been great. I mean, we took this on 6 months ago and it's still hard to believe we've pulled it off. We're here. What's the evolution from Wild Oats 11 to Palm Beach 11? It's significant, It's new keel, new bulb, new dagger board. So, we're trying to, move the needle. I think the sport needs that. The one sale we've done already with the Seafalls, the performance enhancement's been dramatic. It's definitely the future. It's the future that I think everyone needs to embrace and start moving with. So we're looking forward to sort of hopefully putting on a good show.
With just 2 days to go before the start, the media have gathered at the CYCA for the Line Honours Favourites press conference, and the rivalry between the skippers is already starting to heat up.
Christian's boat could do with a coat of paint. That's about all. He spends millions of dollars on it, like everyone else, every year, and it's an incredibly good boat.
He wants to play underdog. We'll just see what happens at the finish line and work it out from there.
It's funny with the rivalry. On the shore, everyone really gets along. It changes quite significantly when you get on the water.
What I enjoy about the media is I like the banter. I like to try to ruffle up the others, and I don't mind if they ruffle me back. I think that's kind of fun. It's the kind of stuff that happens in every sailing club around Australia. And to have that in a sort of high-profile environment, I think is a lot of fun.
Christian, you've won the last 2 years. You've had a very successful run. Why do you keep talking your boat down?
Good question.
I'm trying to put the pressure on Comanche, basically, which I'm doing the best I can there to make them feel bad about losing the last 2, because they should never lose. That boat is so good.
We're pretty confident the upwind performance will be better than we've ever had before, so it'll be interesting to see how we go against these big guys. I mean, they've got the horsepower for sure.
What do I think of Mark Richards returning? Rico's a legend of the sport. I hope Rico's on the start line. I hope Rico finishes the race, and I hope he's behind us.
Unlike all these other blokes, I haven't won the race, so I'm not the smartest person at the table.
There we go.
All good? I reckon that was one of the best ones.
That was good. It was entertaining, wasn't it?
We're too nice to each other.
I know. You're right. It's more entertaining.
It's race day, and grey skies hang over Sydney Harbour, a clear sign of what lies ahead. A forecast of 20-knot southerlies and 4-metre swells will make it tough going for the 128-yacht fleet.
The gun goes, the smoke billows, and the starters are heading for Hobart.
The fleet of Super Maxis is the best fleet ever assembled, anywhere in the world. And so it's a huge challenge.
Tony Mudd has done it again on Law Connect. He's got the jump on Master Lock Comanche for this tight reach to the heads.
Coming to the 80th race is awesome, especially because we've won the last 2 years. That's a great lead-in, of course. We've got a very strong crew, so we're hoping our crew work can make up some of the difference between our boat and Comanche.
The top 3 guys, Comanche, Law Connect and us, I think pretty close. Everyone has their strengths and stuff. We can only control how we sail, and we just 100% focused on that.
It's a battle in 4. Law Connect's got the inside running. Coming up is Palm Beach 11. They're in the race.
There's just so many different dimensions that need to be right to win. In yacht racing, there's plenty of times luck can go against you or for you, and we've won races we shouldn't have won. We've lost races we shouldn't have lost.
And it's all Law Connect at the moment.
It's been rapid paced.
This Sydney to Hobart race started my ocean racing career. My first ever yacht race was in 1993. I'm running out of time, but I'm still here.
Master Lock Comanche, a bit slow or it's a bit bouncy. You can see the waves already coming through the heads.
What else do you do on Boxing Day? It's just fantastic. It's part of who I am.
It's windy outside and a lumpy old sea wave. Once they get to the outer turning mark, it'll be hard on the breeze for the next 36 to 48 hours. Here come the back of the fleet now, off the back starting lines. Oh, and here comes some little boats all locked up at this turning mark. There's a long way to go.
What a start to the 80th Sydney Hobart. A tradition that began in 1945 continues.
Kathleen Gillette is a 44-foot gaff rigged as a yawl cruiser. So she's designed to be a comfortable cruising yacht. Built in the 30s and commissioned by Jack Earl, was home to his family and importantly sailed in the first Sydney to Hobart yacht race in 1945. Jack was one of a handful of people to be among the first members of the CYCA, and they had planned to take a journey, a cruise, south to Hobart on Boxing Day. Captain John Illingworth proposed they do it as a race, and it was that set the ball rolling for what would become the Australian icon that it is today. Thinking back on that first race, I dare say some of those crew had no idea what they were heading into. It's hard to describe the difference between then and now. Boats like Kathleen Gillette had no mechanical gear on them. Winches and pulleys were reliant on human strength and manpower and resilience. And of course you had no satellite navigation, so you were relying on your ability to navigate by the stars and by landmarks all across the coast, requiring very different levels of skill and ability for the skippers and the crew of each one of those yachts.
Back in the original days, it really was a massive adventure and quite a dangerous undertaking. Even just sailing to Tasmania, the rest of Sydney would have thought they're mad. You see how serious it is. It gets rough a lot of the time. It was a race, yes, but it was done in a very authentic spirit. So I think the main lesson that I got from my grandfather and the pioneers that were doing it back in those days was that going sailing, it isn't just about the race. It isn't just about having the biggest boat and getting there first. It's about having the adventure and the camaraderie and seeing things that the rest of the world doesn't get to see. And you come back to port and you've had this incredible adventure with people that you become very close to. And it doesn't matter about the victory or the loss. As long as you get there safely and you have a good time, that's all that matters.
Six hours into the race, and it's too close to call for line honours, with Master Lock Comanche and Law Connect battling it out for the lead. Behind them, the chasing pack try to stay in the hunt. In these conditions, this is where these maxis come into their own, continually being reconfigured to meet the demands of modern offshore sailing.
It's incredibly expensive to build new boats. I mean, the last complete boat that was built was Comanche, so that's a long time ago, right? It's, more than 10 years ago. I think 11 years ago. They were launched in 14 from memory, and that was over 40 million US dollars back then. So you put that in today's money, it's probably 60-ish million US dollars. That's just such a crazy amount of money. So, we were able to pick up our boat as an 80-footer and it had the right sort of bones, and we could cut it and put a new bow on it and make the boat longer and then buy a mast, and we were able to get out of for a fraction of that, So you're going to see a lot more of that, just people that can find another version of what they'd like it to be. And develop it. So even Wild Oats, 20-year-old boat, and they spent a few million on it this year putting foils in it to see if they can get it to fly, and that's exciting technology. So there's all sorts of ways you can manipulate existing boats. The evolution of the technology is what's really exciting, and that's what we like too.
It's a very unique race because you can have full professional teams like Scallywag is or Comanche is, and we're flying guys in from all around the world, and we're on a 100-foot super maxi, and then we're on the start line with weekend warriors who are taking on the challenge as an adventure. There's not too many sports in the world where you can blend full amateurism and professionalism together. For me, I find that's pretty special.
The designer of Oroton Drumfire, his main aim with this truly classic was to sort of enhance or harness the designs of the 1930s. And it is a spectacular design, everything really works well with the boat. I would say that it bridges the gap between old and modern by just taking the style of those old boats but bringing on modern technology. So everything below the waterline is basically a modern design. Sailing a boat like this in comparison to other smaller, faster, racier boats, there is limitations that you need to understand. Just knowing what your expectations are and knowing what you want to achieve. In comparison to everybody else, you don't necessarily try and keep up with a fleet, you navigate a fleet to your advantage. The personnel is a little bit different. You find that when you have real professional crew coming on board who've sailed other super fast boats, everybody just needs to take a little step back and just sort of bring the fun in a little bit more. These are big, powerful boats, and that's the biggest difference. They're slow, but the loads are enormous. An enjoyable race for us would be upwind the whole way. If we could have a nice 20 knot southerly all the way, and then for it to turn north as we're going up the river, that would be ideal. Not exactly the most comfortable race, but that's where we really shine. Upwind, this boat is absolutely amazing.
The first night was quite challenging in a way, just because firstly it's the first night, so everybody's just getting into the swing of things, but it was quite a heavy sea state, more of a sea state than you would expect for that level of breeze. So we were getting in anywhere between 20 to 30 knots throughout the night, and quite lumpy. Being a 60-ton vessel, the boat loves that sort of conditions. It is an ocean-going vessel, so I had no doubt in my mind that we'd get through it without being phased.
Daybreak on day 2, and the race for line honours remains the closest in years. As they enter Bass Strait, Master Lock Comanche leads Law Connect, but SHK Scallywag 100 has remained in range. Could this finally be their skipper David Witt's year?
People keep reminding me, 29 attempts. We've been very close on quite a few campaigns, but we're 10 years of Scallywag I don't know how many more chances we're going to get. It'd be very, very disappointing to spend your life doing this for a living and not being able to win the Rolex Sydney to Hobart, which is the race where you're born, where you live, and what inspired you to do what you've done your rest of your life. Our job's to sort of hang in there with the bigger, wider, fatter boats, and I'd like our chances if that was the case. To be part of this race, it means everything to me personally. It's basically defined who I am all my adult life. We started doing this because we love sailing, and we love sailing offshore, and then you do it because of the history of the race. So then as you get older, to be part of history, it's very humbling.
The first yacht to cross the finish line in 1945 was Rani, skippered by Captain John Illingworth. She made the journey in 6 days, 14 hours and 22 minutes. Kathleen Gillette, here behind me, crossed in 8 days, 6 hours. And you think about the momentum that the race has built over that time. It is a phenomenal event. There aren't many races like it that have lasted that test of time.
Hobart, back then, it was a maritime town. The marine world and the marine characters were sort of the central hub of the town. There was amazing boat building yards just over the hill from Constitution Dock. So coming in, a lot of the boats were built down here. So it was like coming home for a lot of them.
Hobart is a really special part of this race. It's a part of our nation that's been able to keep its identity. I think its remoteness is really special. To come here and just spend some time, it's a great way to punctuate the end of the year away from what is now a very fast-paced life.
The race for line honours has seen the lead change several times, but by the afternoon of day 3, a freshening northeasterly breeze is just what Master Lock Comanche is looking for down the Tasmanian coast.
I think without any doubt, Comanche is the most famous ocean racing boat in the world. There's always pressure on us to win, and given the track record of the boat, having won line honours so many times in this race and holding the race record. And it does become a beast at times when it's very windy, but it's a really enjoyable, very challenging boat to sail.
Comanche, you know, they're the benchmark of the planet. You've got to remember, Comanche has 147 tonne of riding moment. We have 63, right? So they've virtually got double the horsepower.
On paper, it's the fastest boat in the world. It's an amazing boat, but all the boats are very different. Everyone has their strengths and their corners. Some boats are a lot stronger than others, but it comes down to the weather.
The thing about that boat, it was built about 4 years after ours, no expense spared by Jim Clark. Comanche was built as a race boat from day one. It's better in every way. It's got more sail area, it's tons lighter. It's got a lot more efficiency around its operations on the deck and the winches and things. So it's a beautiful boat, and we really struggle to beat it.
Master Lock Comanche takes line honours victory in a time of just over 2 days, 5 hours and 3 minutes.
It's fantastic. What an exciting race. I mean, you know, to have so many boats so close for such a long period of time, and for the lead to change a few times only this morning, it's fantastic. The great thing about line honours is you know you've won line honours when you arrive at the dock, because all the other years I've done it, I've never been here first. So it's really exhilarating to come in. Fantastic crowds of people, huge numbers of people on the dock cheering us on. It was really, really special for all of us.
Lorcanet comes second, followed by SHK Scallywag 100 in third.
This one's probably the hardest one because, you know, with 100 miles to go, we were leading and it was light weather. But, you know, main reason we didn't win is we're just not fast enough. You know, we never give up, but then we were hoping that we'd get another shutdown in the Derwent, like you do out of 9 out of 10 races. And this time they did 20 knots all the way up the Derwent to the finish, so it's the way it goes. What doesn't break you makes you stronger, they say. You don't spend 30 years of your life trying to win something and then give up.
"34 yachts are forced to retire in the tough conditions experienced in the first 48 hours, while the remaining fleet make their way to the finish in Hobart. Following a protest, Min River is declared the overall winner, the first double-handed entry to claim victory in the race's history. Impressively, co-skipper Alexis Loison adds the Tattersall Cup to the Fastnet Challenge Cup won in July. In doing so, matching the feats of the very first Sydney-Hobart winner, Captain John Illingworth, in claiming both offshore classics. While Jan Ling becomes the first female skipper to take overall honours, a landmark result in the race's 80th year.
I should be like jumping up and down, but I haven't yet, so maybe tomorrow. So now I'm very happy, but still feel unreal. I think I'm very proud of myself and hope that, more women can believe that this can happen to them too.
This year there's 165 women competing in all different roles, and I do believe that it was record women skippers as well. Back in 1984 there was only 10 teams with women on the boat, and last year 10 without women on a boat, and I think that that's a great testament to the way that we've all grown through the sport together. The CYCA has been very proactive in promoting women in offshore sailing, and so it's about now that women have the opportunity to be a part of a team, and it's seen as a norm, not a novelty anymore.
80 years old, the Sydney Hobart has never been more inclusive, iconic, and in better health. Next time on Spirit of Yachting, we're in Hong Kong for the Rolex China Sea Race.